Good morning, dear students. Welcome to P.N.AMERSEY e-learning classes. Let us start with chapter number 9, the living organisms, characteristics and habitats. So, let us start with chapter number 9. Paheli and Bujo went on vacation to many places of interest. One such trip took them to the river Ganga in Rishikesh. They climbed the mountains of the Himalayas where it was very cold. They saw many kinds of trees on these mountains, like oaks, pines, and deodars, very different from the ones near their home on the plains. In another trip, they traveled to Rajasthan and moved on camels through the hot desert. They collected different kinds of cactus plant from this trip. Finally, they went on a Puri trip and visited the sea beach, dotted with casuarina trees. While recollecting all the fun they had on these trips, a thought struck them. All these places were so different from one another. Some were cold, some were very hot and dry, and some places are humid. And yet, all of them had many organisms like living creatures of various kinds. They tried to think of a place on earth where there may not be any living creatures. So Bujo thought of places near his home. Inside his home, he tried the cupboards. He thought that there may not be any living organisms here, but he found one tiny spider in the cupboard. Outside the home, too, there did not seem to be any place he could think of that did not having living creatures of some kind or the other. You can see figure 9.1, searching for a living organism. So Paheli started thinking and reading about faraway places. She read that people having even found tiny living organisms in the openings of the volcanoes, organisms and the surroundings where they live. Another thought that occurred to Paheli and Bujo was about the kinds of living organisms that were present in different locations they had visited. The desert had camels, mountains had goats and yak, Puri had some other creatures like crabs on the beach, and such a variety of fish being caught by the fishermen at the sea. And then there did seem to be some creatures like ants that were present in all these kinds of different locations. The kinds of plants found in each of these regions were also different from the plants of the other regions. What about the surroundings in these different regions? Where they came? Are they same? Activity 1 is about animals, plants, and other objects found in different surroundings. Let us start with a forest. Think of all the plants, animals, and objects that can be found there and list them in the column. List things, animals, and plants found in the other regions as shown in the table, on mountains, in the deserts, sea, and any other. You can collect the examples scattered through this chapter to fill the table. Discuss with your friends, parents, teachers to find more examples to complete the table. You can also consult many books in the libraries about animals, plants, minerals of different regions. Try and include many plants, animals, objects, big and small, in each of the column in this table. What kind of objects will we find that may not be animals or plants? Perhaps parts of plants like dried leaves or parts of animals like bones. We may also find different kinds of soils and pebbles. Water in the oceans may have salts dissolved in it, as discussed in chapter 5. There could be many more objects. As we go through the chapter, keep adding more examples to table 9.1. We will discuss the table as we travel through many more interesting places. Thank you, dear students.